If you ever look at marketing, it's like, you'll see the image of the person that's down there and like their top's off. It's red. And that's like, oh, I have that red bit.
Yeah.
I have that sore red bit too. To that, I'm a firm believer that you don't need to 1 rep max your deadlift. You don't need to go and win a powerlifting competition.
I feel a little bit triggered right now, Tom. I'm not going to lie.
Even with your friends or the people you work with and stuff, try and normalize moving a bit more throughout the day.
Yeah.
Let's make the people that don't move the weird ones, not the people that are moving. We just make something a little bit better that you're probably already doing. Like if you ever notice when you get the handcuffs off, you rub your wrists.
It's time to stretch.
Welcome to You Can Fix You, giving you mobility tips to build movement freedom and train with confidence.
Episode 8. Daily life shouldn't hurt you.
What?
That's an
In
astonishing
here?
statement.
Or in my
Emotional
joints?
damage.
In my heart or in my joints?
The 3 questions we're going to look at today. Common misconceptions about posture. So how to sit, how to sleep. What helps?
Oh,
How can I be someone that doesn't find it hard to get through a day without pain? And number 3, tips to offset hours of being in a sedentary way. I feel a little bit triggered right now, Tom. I'm not going to lie.
why?
So I'm just coming off the back of back flare-up. And I felt very restricted in how I could sleep and sit. I felt like I couldn't make it through the day without pain. And now that I work at a computer most of the day and I'm quite sedentary, I need to maybe do something about that.
Well, we're going to give you some tips about
How
that nicely.
dare you? This happens all the time, though. The comments and stuff on our Facebook page are like, I feel seen right now.
Yeah.
Are you just every day you post something about my daily life?
We all go through the same stuff. Like, we all have the same bodies and stuff, so...
No,
Yeah.
I'm a unique snowflake.
Yes, you're unique, just like everybody
Yeah.
else. So common misconceptions about posture, how to sit, how to sleep, like what's the most optimal thing. We want to remove that completely because there is no perfect way to sit. The problem is that a lot of people either sit or stand in a certain way too much.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything at all to offset that, or like just not enough good stuff. Sometimes people are doing some stuff that, will help a little bit, but if they can make those things better, they'll get better results with it. So it's important to remember that, you're not going to make the way you feel better by buying a lumbar support or wearing a back brace or, like always wearing joint support things or having a magical 300-pound pillow or, a mattress that you had to get shipped from Dubai by a golden genie. There's so many things out there, and marketing is a brilliant thing.
Those silver genies aren't worth
Yeah,
it.
like if you ever look at marketing, it's like, you'll see the image of the person that, they're standing there and like their top's off or whatever, and it's red, and that's like, oh, I have that red bit.
yeah.
I have that sore red bit too. And you'll be like, oh, well, that must help me then because he has the same sore red bit. And it's like, it's just a picture to make you go, oh, there's a pain that I have. It's a pain point. It's a marketing trick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have that. That means that this magic pillow is going to help me. And it's like, are you doing any neck exercises at all? Yeah. Do you ever move your neck like a neck? Do you have good shoulder stability? Those things are way more important and will be way more beneficial for you so that then you can sleep upside down, backwards, behind a TV if you want, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Have
you ever seen a dog? Well, I have 2 dogs, and watching them sleep is quite entertaining because they'll be like twisted. Their body's facing one way and their legs are facing the other. They don't seem to have any issues. Yeah. But
what do they do as soon as they wake up, though?
Well, they go for a nice big stretch.
Yeah.
It's great. Big stretch. Yeah. It's impossible not to say either. But yeah, like if you look at how to sit, you've got that traditional stance everyone's told to sit as tall as they can. But if that's the only position you sit in, then you're going to have issues actually flexing your spine and extending your spine.
Yeah, and you're going to feel really, really stiff.
Yeah, exactly. So
you need to be able to relax.
There's just as many problems with the perfect position as there are the imperfect one, because it's not about there is no best. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing around that covers all the things that we need your body to be able to do?
So what does help? What can we do to stop making ourselves feel worse?
Well, exactly as you said, like what's the first thing they do when they get up? Do something, right? Move the joints, especially if you have certain problem areas. Hit those up. We did a funny the other week. It's a short. And it was just like what you do first thing, where you grab the side of the bed, you do some dips, you do some squats, but assisted, And it's just to like ease your body into that movement.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So whenever I was in my early 20s, when I got out of bed in the morning, it was like, and it was like this effort to lift myself up. And then it was like the stairs. It was like, oh, and this was before I started doing any exercise at all. And like everything was a challenge. Like everything felt so taxing. And like having to tie my shoes was just impossible. Like I had to sit down, I had to lean myself sideways, and like the knot of my laces were to the inside of the shoes because I couldn't bend enough to reach the middle of the shoe. Like and that was just the way I thought was normal. And and it's just what I believed. It's like I'm stiff in the mornings when I wake up. But it's like now I have now for years been getting up and moving first thing in the morning. At first it sucked. It was like I felt really stiff and was like trying to do stuff. But now I wake up ready to move. And it's not that I'm special and it's not that I changed anything in my diet. It was I woke up and moved. So now I wake up ready to move. My brain, as soon as I wake up, goes, oh, he's going to do that thing. Better make everything work well. Rather than, your brain thinking, oh, I have a good 6 hours here before they actually, sit in the toilet.
But I think it's such a great story, but it's also just so true that if you wait until the end of the day, like you get up, you get your coffee, you go to work, you're sitting in the car, and then you're at the office, then you get home and you're like, I've had a stiff neck all day. So all you've done is spend 10 hours reinforcing that stiff neck. Yeah. Where if the first thing you did was spend 3 minutes or, a minute or whatever it is and moved it a little bit, you've now spent 10 hours reinforcing a slightly better position. And then you compound that over days, weeks, months. Why wouldn't your body be better and stronger and less likely to be in pain?
And it's that right off. Don't let yourself go, oh, I've bad knees or, oh, I've a tight neck. It's like,
do you remember when it was a good knee or a left knee and a right knee, not a good knee and a bad knee?
Do you like that one though? Yeah. It's as good as Disney and that knee. No, Disney. I've messed it up. There's a meme that it says Disney on that knee, but it's Disney, the symbol for Disney. I think it's very funny. I forgot what I was going to say now. Yes, don't allow yourself to tell yourself that you're dysfunctional. If you're saying I have a bad knee, then that means then tailor the stuff that you do to be knee orientated so that you're working on it every day, and you will find that it ends up being a good knee. You know. So it's just about anything that you are able to say that causes me an issue, put it at the top of the list. I address this first thing in the morning every day, and you'll be surprised at how lucky you get when you do that. You'll start to find like, oh, this isn't the problem anymore. It actually feels pretty strong. That's pretty good. And then you look at other people and you're like, you stiff? And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm fine.
We did a seminar at the weekend and we sort of looked at, we are asking people to do certain movements at a certain standard and like, this is what we want normal to be for you guys. But the trouble is you might be way over here, really far away. So we're not expecting you to jump straight into doing the movement. Yeah. There's about 11 steps in between that you could take. And that first thing in the morning is a perfect time to take a little journey down that lane and see what step you're on today. And if you look at things not in a day-to-day scheme, but in a month-to-month, year-to-year, it's like in a year's time, I want to be over there. So now it's fine that I'm on step 1, and the next month I'll be on step 2, and then you just work your way up, and then all of a sudden, as you say, your body is just fine. Yeah, it's not sore. Yeah, and like as I said at the start, I've just come out of the back of a back flare-up. It was about 2 weeks all in, but one day I just woke up. I'm like, oh, I'm back.
Yeah. And you're so in tune with your body that you know that you're able to go again. Yeah. And you're not scared. You're not going, oh, that might go again. Oh, that might, you actually know through your own movement what to check, what to do. So 100%. It's like a flare up all of a sudden that would be debilitating to someone without any knowledge, which, is where I was at one point. It's like now you're able to go, oh, I know what that is. Yeah, it sucks. It's sore at the time. I know what I can do because you kept testing stuff and seeing where it was at. Oh, yeah. And then now you're like, oh, I'm totally fine again. Oh, yeah. And you have that, confidence that you are able to actually move, and you're not going to hurt yourself or cause more damage, a phrase that I absolutely hate. You know that you're able to go, no, it's too soon to lift weights. So you're still not at that point yet that you're able to go, right, let's load up the bar and let's just start training normally again. You know that you're able to ease yourself back in. So you want to get to that point where you know your body well enough that you aren't worried about things day to day causing you any problems.
And it's okay to take a step back for a while. Yeah. Like my mum always used to say when I was getting overwhelmed when I was younger, this too shall pass. And that was kind of a phrase that stuck with me. I in SMM movements, probably find the side plank march one of the most challenging ones. And over the past 2 weeks, the most I could do was like a 10% recline, and then take some steps, and I felt so much pressure, and it was like borderline sore. And normally I can bang them out on the floor.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because it will pass.
Yeah.
And you just got to ease yourself back down again and let your body kind of move as it wants to, and remove that fear element, which it creeps in there. And I was able to observe it, and it just kept coming in, and it was like, oh, what if it... It's like, no, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be grand.
And that's the thing as well. And then you have to kind of look at everything else you've been doing. So one of the things that helps the most is making yourself stronger.
Yep.
You don't want to be the heaviest thing that you lift.
Nope.
You want to be adding weight to that. I'm a firm believer that you don't need to 1 rep max your deadlift. You don't need to go and win a powerlifting competition, but you need to be lifting more than your own body weight. You need to have that extra stress on your body so that daily life isn't so hard. Because if you're never challenging your body, you never challenge your muscles more, then it gets to a point that getting up off the floor, walking up the stairs, going for a long walk, then things start to become challenging because you're the heaviest load that you're used to. And in a tension perspective, if you're not used to creating more tension within your body and then setting things down and going, oh, I'm glad that's over, then your body is just going to always have this level of tension within it because it doesn't know the difference between maximal tension and low level tension.
Yeah.
So your training needs to stress your body enough so that when you're resting, your body's like, this is amazing. Whereas if you never do that, your body's just like, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Let's just be tense all the time.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to start to feel much worse. And it's going to be exhausting as well. You will feel more tired.
Yeah. And as you say, like if the most challenging thing you do is move your own body, then any step back from that, you're going to feel limited. Whereas if you have that optimal surplus where you can lift many things above your body and beyond your body, then if you take a step back, well, you've still got day-to-day movement. You've still got control of that. And you have that ability to, you've earned the stripes. You've learned how to go above and beyond. And so it's just a process of repeating that.
Yeah. Especially if I'm working with someone that does have a back injury, I can rehab someone much faster if they know how to lift because we know what to switch on. We know that they know how to lift properly.
Yep.
Whereas if someone has quite extreme back pain and they don't have no lifting experience at all,
totally.
You have to teach them that at the same time while they're in pain as well.
Yeah.
So it's a much bigger task. So it's good if you're feeling okay right now and you're not interested in lifting weights, please start because it's so good to learn how to lift properly because you have that, that you know how to create tension, you know how to create, better core strength so that you're, like we've been saying, able to cope with your own body much easier. You're much easier to navigate then. And
it also just gives you a vocabulary for what's going on.
Yeah.
Like if we say, how's your squat versus your hinge, you know straight away what that means.
Yeah.
And one is going to be more maybe internal rotation, one's more external rotation. That already gives us more information about how your hips are working, what's all going on. Is it unilateral? Is it stability?
Mm-hmm.
All these things are data points that help us refine and understand what's going on and therefore what's the fastest route out of where you're at.
Yeah. It should be it just should be mandatory in schools. You should learn how to read, you should learn how to write, and you should learn how to lift.
Yeah.
You should know how to use your muscles because, you have to know how to use them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of a good idea to know how the thing you live in works. You'd be like living in an apartment building or something like that there and you have no idea how the lift works. And you're like, take the stairs again every time. So it's really, really important that you learn how your body actually works. You only have to do it once.
Yeah.
And do it really, really well. And then it just lasts you for the rest of your
life. It's like
life.
riding a bike.
Yeah.
You don't forget it.
Yeah.
It's an inherent understanding then that you have a connection with your body that even if you're out of practice, you still understand it.
Yeah.
You can't really lose that understanding.
Yeah. So what's some tips to offset the hours of being sedentary? Because that's life. I always like to use this joke as well. Like you don't even have to get off the sofa to put the DVD in anymore because now we have streaming services.
Oh yeah, you just press the button.
You just push the button and it comes on TV now. So you're not even having to get off the sofa.
If you're even lazier, you can ask your virtual assistant.
Yeah.
And they... whether it's the S one or the D one or the B one.
You don't even have to go and get your takeaway anymore. You've got Just Eat or Uber Eats.
True, yeah.
It's like it's so easy to just sit all day and like not turn your head a certain way.
All right. I don't know if maybe you're making incredibly
viral videos all day.
Oh boy, sitting in this position. Oh gosh. So as we've already talked about, that morning movement, the first thing you do in the day, that sets the tone for the day.
Yeah.
And also then taking regular structured breaks can be really good. Even if it's just getting up to go to the toilet and then on the way back, Have a little wiggle.
Yeah. There's so many little things you can do throughout the day of just anchoring yourself. Like always look for things you can stretch on. Like, could I get my leg up on that? And just give it a go, you know. If the thing falls over, run away quickly.
Yeah, point to somebody else. Oh, look what they did.
Always look. So two of my favorite drills from the YouTube channel, the clockwork hips drill.
Oh yeah.
It is so easy to just stick your leg up on something and move your hips around. So you don't even have to get into a deep squat. You know what? I like things that are you'd be embarrassed to skip. So it's like I can always stick my leg up on my stairs and have a bit of a wiggle.
That was so useful the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I really used that a lot.
You know, it's a very risk adverse thing. You know, your body won't freak out because it's like you're able to hold on and you're able to slowly move back and forward without much weight going through your legs. So it's a really, really nice one. So clockwork hip drills.
Like stepping. It's like walking upstairs without having to walk upstairs.
Yeah.
You're just pausing.
And you can just get things wiggling.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. And then zenith rotations. A zenith rotation is when you rotate your thoracic spine, and you don't have to do it in like all fours position. You can do them while sitting. You can do them while upright. It's literally just rotate your thoracic spine. Yeah. So those two things alone, if you just get deep into your hips, because just think about how much full joint movement you get throughout the day, it's really important to add that in. And then rotating your thoracic spine, that offsets all those hours of sitting, helps with your neck, helps where your shoulders are going to rest. It's just such a good habit to have. You know, those two things, 2 to 3 minutes throughout the day here and there, you know, a couple of times a day, it helps so much, because when you're sitting at rest, you're not really putting any effort in. You know, we're sitting here, we're using about 10% effort to not just fall on the floor, you know? But if you do those things and you put that little like 50% effort in, it's enough to offset those hours of sitting.
I think that's the key thing is you'll see all the time, if you look around the office, you know, people maybe sit up every so often, they kind of like turn to the right, turn to the left, and then get back to it. If you just spent an extra 60 seconds on that and turn to the left, take a deep breath in, breathe out, turn a little bit more, and connect with the muscles, and then do the same on the other side, that's so much more powerful than just a click back to work.
Yeah. And you have that intrinsically in you. People are already doing that. They can just make it better. That's what we really do with a lot of things, especially with seminars. We just make something a little bit better that you're probably already doing. Like if you ever notice when you get the handcuffs off, you rub your wrists.
Wow.
Okay, maybe that's not everyone, but it's though. If you've ever watched movies or whatever, when someone gets the handcuffs off, they're always immediately, rub the wrists. Thank goodness those are off, you know? So it's just a nice example of, you know, people are already like rubbing their neck and leaning their head to the side a wee bit and stuff. If you take that, turn it into an exercise, so lean your head to the side, then pull your shoulder down as well. You're going to feel more of a stretch there, and then add some other movement there. Move your neck more. It's going to be more beneficial than you just going, and rubbing your neck a wee bit, you know? So you do have these things in you. You do actually know what you need to do. And you just develop that. And the more you do that, the easier you're going to find it to do little mobility routines and know what you need intrinsically so that you just know how to make yourself feel good.
I'm going to say something that might be unpopular with parents. But if you watch your kids and you know that annoying thing they do all the time, fidgeting. Yeah. Then you tell them not to do it. That's the thing.
You should start doing it.
Yeah, you should fidget more.
What are we fidgeting today?
Yeah. Try and move as much as they move.
Yeah.
And watch how your body feels. It's probably going to feel a lot better.
Yeah.
And you discover little parts of your body. Say, that's a wee bit tight. But now it's getting looser as I move more. It's so frustrating because I totally understand why we don't want people to fidget. But it's such a useful, like, innate movement pattern that our body wants to
like
do.
In our circle, like whenever we're having a meeting today with Jenny, and like we're going to be like, it won't be weird for any of us to like stand up at a certain point and like stretch our bicep or like sit and do a squat or do things like that. You know, that's just the circle that we're in. So try and normalize that stuff. even with your friends or the people you work with and stuff, try and normalize moving a bit more throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's make the people that don't move the weird ones, not the people that are moving.
And you don't need special equipment for it, right? You can have you've all got chairs in your office, you've got stairs and stuff like that. You know, you just stick a leg up and have a wiggle. Yeah. And just learn to blank it out. If you want to get super fancy, you can get all kinds of different like benches or balls or whatever. And it just is different things for you to kind of wiggle over and get creative with.
Your clothes as well, if you find them restrictive, buy better clothes.
Oh, dude, 100%.
Yeah. Stretchy jeans.
Yeah. For sure. Like,
but I did, whenever I worked in the betting office, I did actually, like, they gave us work trousers, and I actually bought different trousers from a different shop because they moved better, so I could sit and stretch throughout the day with them on.
I worked in a school for about a year, and it was shirt and trousers, like traditional kind of teaching clothes. And I had about a month in, I was like, I need different clothes because my shoulders are restricted here. I don't have like good neck movement. My hips are getting, restricted here. And yeah, a few changes. And then, you can like move your legs up. And as you're walking around the classroom, you can kind of like push your hips to the side and all that kind of stuff. It really helps a lot.
Yeah, makes such a difference. So a win.
Oh, yes.
From one of our SMMers, Mark. So this is just a nice one to show how...
Did we meet Mark? No, we met somebody else.
I've met many Marks.
This is true.
I'm actually not quite sure.
Many Marks.
So this is a nice one that's going to bring back everything from the day. So he was struggling with driving, basically. So driving, I hate driving, it causes me pain. Like, you don't want things like that floating around your head all the time. So you're actually dreading things. We don't want that. You don't want to be dreading like, oh, I don't want to go to this concert because I'm going to have to stand for ages. It's going to make my back sore. You don't want that. That's not the way. Yeah, you don't want your life to be like that. That you're actually like actively avoiding fun things.
Yep.
Because of how your body's going to feel. You want to do stuff that makes your body feel confident in itself so that you know, hey, I can go do this. I might feel a bit stiff afterwards, but I'll know how to wiggle it out. Yeah. So it's a good thing to work towards. So it's a good encouragement for mobility work. So Mark, I've been doing SMM for 6, maybe 7 weeks. The results so far are remarkable. Some background, I'm 58, played rugby league from 10 to 30, always felt I was fit, mid to late 30s, pain started in the knees. I kept running a couple of half marathons and 10Ks. Then for the last 2 years, I had intense pain behind the left knee. Feels like the muscles in a knot. Really struggled to relieve the pain or walk. Like walking becomes uncomfortable. We don't want that.
Yeah, you go from playing rugby league to not.
Can't walk now.
Yeah.
And for so many people in the world, they just stop there. They're like, no, bad knee, can't do anything.
I'm now over 30.
Yeah. Driving was the worst. Couldn't lift my leg to push the clutch. My shoes are always worn on the right foot, but pain in the left knee.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So back to SMM. I've been doing for 6-7 weeks, minimum 3 times per week. Mobility and flexibility is poor, but improving. So like we're getting results along the way. More importantly, the knot pain behind the knee has all but gone.
Oh,
like 6-7 weeks. Like that's huge. Something you've had for years. Can enjoy dog walks, driving, treadmill without being in agony. Thanks all.
Awesome.
So like, going from dreading walking, dreading driving, and like not like your physical health deteriorating because you can't exercise anymore to now that going away just from some added mobility work. Like that is crazy.
It's the same idea as like you don't eat a salad and suddenly you've lost a ton of weight.
What?
It's like over the 6 or 7 weeks, he's done it three times.
And he's still not there. Like he still has SMM movements. He's still needing to improve, but he's made a difference to his knee already. Like it's just incredible.
Good job, Mark. Well done.
Awesome, Mark.
Catch the next one.
Wow, that was incredible. I enjoyed that podcast, and I hope you did too. If you'd like to find out more, head over to tonemorrison.uk.